Good morning, folks. Get something to drink. All right. I hope everybody had a good weekend. This is an early morning show, and I was up early, and uh, you you get so caught up in the mob channel. He said, she said, and all this other stuff, and it's people form allegiances and whose side whose side they'll take, and it becomes just convoluted and crazy, and the viewers have to take this dialogue and narrative and commentary from Sammy the Bull, Mike Franzese, Anthony Riamondi, and whoever else is out there. You got different demographics of the younger guys that go on and they're just quick to make statements. And Anthony Riamondi is a colorful guy, and in his defense, which nobody on YouTube will dare defend him, but because he's not what they want, he's not what they want him to be, and he's a smart guy. He was with the Colombo family, and he claims to, well, he's made a lot of different statements, and these retards that go out, these young 20, 25, 30-year-old guy viewers or whoever, or some have channels, and they want to piggyback the bashing of Anthony Riamondi. Now, yes, I'm not sure if everything he said is true or not, but some of it is. And then they just want to discredit his whole whatever. But I'll tell you one thing, they won't go in the streets over there and tell him to his face. They won't do that. So one thing he's right about is being in the streets. Mike Franzese said he was at the Diplomat all the time down there. Riamondi and the Colombo guys, which was Mike Francese's guys. Anthony Riamondi is correct about that. All you Mike Franzese fans, he is correct about that. So if that rubs you the wrong way, I don't know what to tell you. My godfather was there all the time. Not all the time, but he was he was affiliated with the Colombos. Mike Franzese and his crew, they were nowhere around. So, and there was another place, I don't know, they called it Monty's place. And I don't know if it was Bay Ridge or wherever the hell it was. He wasn't there. They weren't there either. Anthony Riamondi was young, started off running the money, and then they were taking action and running the money, and that family was big with the gambling ring. So Anthony Riamondi was there. He was there, and I'm the only one that will come on. I don't have a big channel, but all I'm saying is, if somebody has a big production, Mike Franzese or all these guys, and then so they're more believable. And then there's a target because they think Anthony Riamondi, because he makes some really outlandish statements, whether they're true or false, I don't know. But so he's an easy target to discredit and discount. And he was on VLAD, and VLAD gave him a good interview. I think VLAD was getting a flavor, but I think VLAD was very fair. I think he was very fair. And and so that all of a sudden millions and millions of views, and but a lot of the channels and the speakers are taking a lot of things from what Anthony Riamondi says, and they're taking it out of context, and they're mixing up the facts. And I'm just saying, it ain't fair to that guy. It's not fair to that guy. That guy was embedded deep, very deep, going back to his family with Lucky Luciano and a lot of serious hardcore people, but they want to make Anthony Riamondi look like the YouTube mafia clown. Well, he's not. And I'm probably I don't have a big high profile channel or name or anything else, but I believe Anthony Riamondi over Mike Franzese and Sammy the Bull on some issues. Because they call liar, 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 liar. Well, listen, folks, everybody involved in that world it was conditioned into lying at some point in time. If you're rubbing elbows in the mix with this type of fraternity, there's lying's not so far-fetched or outlandish. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Swan. Early morning, rise and shine. So lying isn't just a oh geez, he told a lie. But these channels, like I saw a small channel, Mr. Sticks or whatever his name was, and he's kind of making light, and and he was doing a live stream split screen with Anthony Riamondi, and he's kind of giving Riamondi the business on, like he's just a big liar and he's a big storyteller, and all of this Mr. Sticks's subscribers want him to bash this Riamondi real good, but Riamondi holds up pretty good and defends himself pretty good. And this other guy, he's trying to get all, well, what about this? What about this? Well, you don't have anybody to back. A lot of people are dead. And a lot of people don't want to come on and say, well, I want to defend, because they think if you can't come up with a name of somebody that says you were there, then it's a lie. There's just shallow thinking guys with channels that will never know. They piggyback the mafia world, the mafia life. They can never figure out the true mentality of it, and their channels are sprouting up like weeds, and they're trying to, tell the Joe Blow viewer what some agenda, and then they want to go bash Anthony Riamondi. I'm the only guy that will probably ever do anything in just on behalf to support Anthony Riamondi. Because I'm not stupid enough to discount everything he says. And they want to discredit Anthony Riamondi because he can straight up call out the lies of the big mob channel names, Mike Franzese, Sammy the Bull, and whoever else, because he can straight out firsthand call out that they're straight up liars. But nobody wants anybody to bash the Golden Boy Mafia channels. I'm not saying everything that Anthony Riamondi is saying is true. I'm not psychic, but I know some things that he's saying are true because We're both still living, and all the other old timers are dead. And then and just like I said before, Mike Franzese was nowhere around. He was nowhere around. And he just says he just thinks he built up a big enough fan base that he could say whatever he wants. And he did, and he was successful. And that's his side, that's his narrative. But it's so easy to piggyback and bash somebody like Anthony Riamondi, who has some fascinating truths that are way more fascinating than Sammy the Bull and Mike Franzese put together. Yeah, he has some fascinating facts and truths. Maybe he added some bells and whistles to those and things like that. But I'm saying I'll tell you one thing. When you watch these people in the mob channels, they lying is their second nature. Lying is their second nature. And it's easy to put fraternities against each other, families against each other, or Franzese against Sammy the Bull. It's easy to pit them against each other. It's easy. But in the same breath, like I always say, folks, I got swampland for sale. You have to look at this stuff. Don't be a 20-year-old, 25-year-old, and 30-year-old and just buy a lot of that other shit. Look at Anthony Riamondi. Look at his videos. You make the choice. Just don't be a freaking brown nose and just take a side and you know, grow up. Be a man. Interpret information. Don't be a follow the leader. I inspire thinking here. Thinking. At the end of the day, I want to inspire thinking. And if you viewers don't know by now that lying is part of having a YouTube channel, you know, like maybe I told a couple lies. Maybe not about that stuff, but maybe by accident or by bad memory, but I say I can't remember for sure. I had a brain injury, man. You know? Hey, John Paul from New Zealand. Good morning. Good morning, buddy. So I don't try to portray, you know, all that. I ran around, whatever experiences I remember. Sometimes I have flashbacks. Sometimes things come into my mind. I have a brain injury, and I'm not embarrassed. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not embarrassed to say that, because my channel ain't just going to be a commentary about the mob and everything else. I'm not a one-trick pony trying to figure out who these clowns are lying about and everything else. I'm more than that. I'm more than that. Them guys, and now they're talking, you know, I see this guy with his channel and he's trying to interview this guy, and I'm from the projects, and different nationalities and everything else. And the guy is trying extra to talk ghetto. He's interviewing Anthony Riamondi, and he's trying extra to portray ghetto. You know, if you're from the ghetto, you can see somebody that's trying to portray, like he's trying to be cute and you know, put Anthony Riamondi down. And maybe this guy that's doing that, maybe he is a tough guy or whatever else, but it don't look good. It doesn't look good. I don't know the guy from a bag of beans, but so that's what they're hanging their hat on, to show that image and that dynamic of that dialogue and his interview with Riamondi, and that's his angle. But how far is he going to take his channel? How far is he going to take his channel? He's not a good personality. He doesn't have good thinking chops. He's not quick on his feet. He doesn't have the skills, and they got all the high tech stuff. If I was interviewing Anthony Riamondi, I would do a way better job, a way better job. And mix in things that people have questions about, but do it respectfully. You better do it respectfully, because you could be wrong about something that you're trying to be cute about when you're asking him. So it could come out where then this interviewer, you might have just showed your ass, because then something could come out where, well, yeah, he was right about that, and this clown trying to be a cute interviewer, and he might be wrong. They don't have skills. They don't have chops. They're trying to piggyback. He starts some channel, and they're trying to piggyback the mob and all that. And I use it in my thumbnails, but I'm more than that. I could talk about more topics more eloquently than any of them guys put together. In that arena, on social commentary, anything under the sun that you want to throw around and have a commentary and narrative or interview about, I'm way better. I don't care if I got 2 subscribers or 1 million. I'm way better. And you see these guys popping up these channels, and they're trying to take sides on what's more inviting for their channel to grow with, well, I'm guilty of using thumbnails, but they're actually interviewing these guys, and it's a clown show. They're actually interviewing. So you got a chance. Vlad interviewed him, and he did effectively. He didn't try to ride him and make him look silly. He brought things out and gave Anthony Riamondi a chance to reply in a great interview dynamic. And I'm not the biggest Vlad fan, but I do respect his skills. Maybe I am a fan, but then you get these other guys, and they're trying to act all gangster, and they're trying to act all ghetto, and they're trying to interview and raise a channel up, and that's all the skill they have. I know brothers, friends from the hood, serious cats, Indian, Afro-American, whatever, and best friends of mine that could do an interview better than that guy. That could do an interview better than them type of people. You got to have basic communication skills, and you better try to appeal to a larger mass audience, because all your viewers aren't going to be just from that demographic. I'm from the hood gangster demographic. They're not going to all be from that market segment. And if a viewer outside of that market segment happenstances upon that video, they're going to say, this guy's whatever. I'll watch this video, but I'm not going to watch another one. So they got no game. They're trying to piggyback. They got no thinking skills. They got no marketing skills. They don't have any communication skills. I'm using bad grammar while I'm saying they got no. I know I'm using bad grammar. Okay. You know I could speak. So I just try to sort some things out. My dear people, good friends, supporters, thank you for helping me out. But I'm not the kind of guy that's just going to sit back and say, oh, Anthony Riamondi was this or that. No, yeah, he's a big clown and everything else. Well, I'm telling you one thing. He was in the trenches with some serious people, but his persona came on, and he might have exaggerated about a few things. Geez, who's never exaggerated about a few things in their life? I used to play basketball at another park, and I used to come back. They'd say, Jojo, how many points did you get? Oh, I got 26 points. No, I only got 12 points. I exaggerated. Okay. So it's in our nature. And he's promoting, well, they used him on the deplorable or whatever the hell it was. They used him as a advisor on something. I got a brain injury. I know the name of it. Dependables, deplorables. I don't know what the hell it was. They actually used them. Then they want to discount his military record, where he said he had 300 kills in Vietnam and war or whatever. So it's so easy to piggyback and bash the guy, but when you're in Vietnam and you got a bazooka or a rocket launcher and you blast out an area and it might have had 5 people killed or the count, so the casualty count in war could be varied. So they try. So look at the stuff. And well, he had ties to the Pope, or they were going to assassinate the Pope. There was crazy stuff going on with his uncles and cousins and everything else. Yeah, the genealogy, the ancestry, and everything else was there. So they can't discount that. And the biggest names in mob history, he was a descendant from. And then he came up through the Colombos. But they want to discount him. I'm not that stupid. I understand that me and probably my viewers and subscribers will say, look at it and just don't be so quick to be steadfast on say this is concretely one way or concretely this way. Like Mike Franzese, Sammy the Bull, and all them other guys. So there's lying, there's embellishing, and there's a lot of other things that are going on that people must understand. But that guy that did that interview with Anthony Riamondi needs to up his game a little. I don't know him. I came upon the video by accident. I saw his interview with Vlad. It was a good interview. And Vlad was really good, and he left it up to the viewer to process however they wanted to process and interpret Anthony Riamondi. He did that. He did throw in a couple jabs, low blows on him, but that's okay because that's what most of Vlad's viewers wanted. So he did satisfy his viewers and threw a couple low blows or legitimate blows at Anthony Riamondi. And Anthony responded well to those. But in the rest of the rodeo mob channel world, they just want to put him down. Now, I'm not into buying swampland either, my dear friends. But I see that. I see from my interpretation and me reading Anthony Riamondi, I take some things however you want to take them, but he tells some good stories. It's story time with the mob channel world, folks. He's a good storyteller anyways. He's better than Mike Franzese and Sammy the Bull Gravano put together, but he's not a polished up guy. They've ran his face and his name into the mud on every channel out there. Like he's supposed to be the laughing stock of the YouTube channel world. Well, you guys are just living in a fairy tale, unrealistic reality because there's no one to say, well, I know Mike's lying about stuff and I know Sammy the Bull's lying. I personally know they're lying. Me, I'm still living, but I know Mike Franzese is lying through his teeth and I know Sammy the Bull is lying through his teeth because I visually saw things and heard things and my godfather was there too. So I am a witness. I'm a witness. So everybody else out there is just playing a guessing game. And whose side do you want to be on? This week, Mike Franzese and Sammy the Bull are friends. Tune in next week when they're MFing each other about the proffer and everything else, okay? You have to realize So Anthony Riamondi realizes also it's entertainment. But I'm a gambling man, as you all know. And if the Lord or Jesus Christ or the God of the truth serum would come down and video and put them all in a room and then say, well, you, Mike, remember you said that, boom, boom, boom. And if the creator God of the truth serum on this planet could come down and say, bah, 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 you people would be fascinated. You 20-year-olds, you 30-year-olds, you 40, you would be fascinated. And it's never going to happen. We just got to use our brains and minds and do the best we can and however we want to view these people. And Anthony Raimondi, well, folks, he wasn't lying about that. And he wasn't lying about that. And he wasn't lying about that. Some major points. But he did throw in, you threw in some tough ones in there, Anthony. We're going to have to, you were lying about that. You were lying about that. But that other sensational stuff you said was true. Sammy, now as for you, Sammy, they should have named you Sammy the Bullshit Gravano. Okay, my dear son. So, Mike Franzese, no comment. No comment. John Paul, bro, love hearing these stories. I prefer the cats from New York watch mafia vids all the time. Crazy. MFs, did you know that Gemini twins? No. Thank you, John Paul. But John and Leon, I mean, I'm not a bandwagoner. I'm not a guy that just says, well, for the sake of my channel, I'm gonna whore myself to that stuff because it's not the common belief around the viewers. I could give two shits. I'm just trying to listen. Oh, jeez, I sounded like Mike Franzese with that. Listen, forgive me. God bless Mike and all these guys anyways. It's just a show. It's a show. I don't mean no ill will on anybody. But it's like this Anthony Riamondi, he's got a lot of things out there. He wrote a book, colorful, fascinating, and maybe he's a good storyteller. But why do the startup YouTube channels that want to do mob content just go with the flow, go with the thing? Because they don't know any better. They're 25, 30 years old. They don't know any better. So they better jump on while the mob channel YouTube stuff is hot, and it's always going to stay hot. And they just no, I'm not the channel. I have a unique channel here. I try to tell the truth to the best of my knowledge. Because at the end of the day, this channel is not going to make me or break me. I do other things. I try to inspire thinking and spiritualism and good thinking for our lives and our worlds with our family and friends. I got more chops than just to go over all these this mafia topic. This is a show, and it's starting off in its infancy. I'm breaking into this YouTube channel game doing these topics. But I have more skills and brains and education and smarts to do other topics and communicate them, hopefully effective to my viewers. So these other guys get on there and they're just spewing everything they can, and they want to bash Anthony Riamondi. Well, I'm the one guy that's not going to bash him, because I tell you what, he's no different from Mike Franzese, Sammy the Bull, the highly visible names, recognizable names. He's no different. And who knows? I mean, there's some stuff on there that's outlandish, but when it comes to the government and the Pope and Myra Lansky and Lucky Luciani and all that stuff was. But he's the godson, and he was related to them. He was related to them. So people should do a little research. Don't make these hair trigger opinions and decisions on things, and then to make a result or a decision on whether somebody's telling the truth or lying. People should just be guarded or just more aware. Like, wait a minute, all right, you said this or that, but because you said that now I gotta accept that because he said that, so Joe Blow viewer has got to accept that because Franzese or somebody said this or that, so you're supposed to accept that as gospel truth. Don't. I'm just telling you, don't. You don't put yourself on a higher. You don't give yourself higher esteem and level of intelligence to make your own decision. And even if there's certain facts, quote unquote, so you might even go to do research, and the facts, so-called facts, are skewed. Excuse me. So what are you left with? Take it with a grain of salt. So one common denominator is it's entertaining. All right. It's entertaining. And we can't freaking go nuts thinking about who's telling the truth and who's lying. It's entertainment. Because lies might be truths and truths might be lies. Whether it's coming from Franzese or Gravano or any other of them guys. They kept you in there because they're good storytellers. They're good storytellers. Sammy the Bull's got writers and everything, but he's a good storyteller. He can't remember what he had for breakfast in 1972, but he says he does. But he's a good storyteller. So peel all the layers back of all the question marks. You're left with an entertainer. You're left with a personality. And could he carry a show? And they can. So don't have the blinkers on and the blindfolds on and become, gullible to a lot of different things. So I wasn't going to do a show today, but I saw that and I said, you know what? I'm going to defend him. I'm going to defend him. Because they like to bandwagon and bash to rise their subscribers and everything else. That's the name of the game. I've done it myself in the headlines. But I was there. I saw it for my own eyes. It wasn't secondhand information. I saw it. That's the difference. I'm a small channel, but I was in the mix. Everybody else is dead. Oh, Riamondi can't come up with one person to back up his story. Who cares? So that automatically means Riamondi is lying. Really? Because what? Because them guys don't like to come out. I can't get guys to come on my channel, old timers to come on my channel. They don't want to come out and talk about YouTube channel bullshit. Hey, Mr. Spataro. So they make their decisions based on whether some guy wants to testify or confirm what another guy was said. These guys are old timers. They ain't coming out to go on YouTube to say, yeah, he was there or he wasn't there or yeah, whatever. They're not interested with YouTube channel bull crap. But if they don't do that, then they're discredited. Mike Franzese, who corroborates Mike Francese's stories on his channel? They're all dead. Sammy the Bull, who corroborates all that? They're just telling their own stories. Yeah. Mr. Spataro, it's quick to call Anthony Riamondi a joke. It's quick. Yeah. He might be telling some fairy tales about certain things like that. But I'm telling you one thing, he's not lying about a lot of things because he was down at that Diplomat and he was down at Monty's over in I don't know, Bay Ridge. He was there every day. He was a descendant from embedded the Colombo family. They were the Lucianis, or Luciano, and all them other guys. But they portray him as being a clown and everything else. I'm not a sucker. Mike Franzese says he had his crew and everything else. No, my godfather did work for the Colombos. Anthony Riamondi was born into that. Mike Franzese was nowhere around ever. These guys were on the streets. Where was Mike Franzese and his crew? So and based on that alone, okay, it's YouTube and everything else, and they're like, but they want to make fun, and I'm guessing, because I'm not psychic and wasn't there rubbing elbows with him, but I'm guessing that Riamondi made up a lot of shit. Okay, so you Joe Blow YouTube viewers out there, you don't think Mike Franzese ever lied on his YouTube channel? You don't think Sammy the Bull ever lied on his YouTube channel? Has anybody in general life ever not lied about something? I mean, come on. Don't get hypnotized by these characters and, oh, look at, yeah, hey, Mika, he did this, he did it. Get on the phone. Oh, my gosh. Hey, Jack, you hear what Mike Franzese said today? Oh, wow, how wild. And yeah. It's entertainment. I'm not buying it all. I'm still alive, and I know it. So I did a thing because I saw somebody do a podcast with a split screen with Anthony Riamondi, some up-and-coming interviewer guy. And he was trying to give Anthony Riamondi the business to grow his channel or whatever. And Anthony Riamondi held up very well. He knew what this guy was trying to do. But I'll tell you one thing, nobody around them, Brooklyn or any of them areas, you didn't want to mess around with that Anthony Riamondi. No, you don't want to mess around with that guy. If he's a psychopath liar telling his stories on YouTube channel, he was a psychopath in the streets. He shot a guy in the head when he was 16 years old because the guy was going to open up his suit. And then they sent him to war instead of prison. And then he said he had 300 kills or whatever. But then they tried to bash him on that, the 300 kills. When you throw a bazooka, you killed that. So casualty count could be quick. But they try to bash because that's convenient. So they got him on YouTube portrayed to be a liar clown. And so compare and contrast Sammy the Bull Gravano, Anthony Riamondi. There's no difference. They both lie and they both tell the truth. Compare and contrast Mike Franzese, Sammy the Bull, Anthony Riamondi. They tell the truth and they're full of shit and tell all kinds of lies. Yes, Mr. Spataro knows. People were born into hustling. Lying is a part of that game. And how do you use that to make some money? It's no secret. It's no secret. You think once upon a time Mike Franzese woke up and said, oh, geez, hey, honey, guess what? I want to start a YouTube channel. Well, why do you want to do that, honey? Well, I want to make some money. Well, don't you already have that $1 billion buried somewhere? Well, I just want to get up there and be I want to be in the limelight. Yeah. My bosses and everything else that want to be in the limelight. What's this world coming to? My quote unquote bosses that that want to be in the public eye. Geez, people, if you're learning about the mafia and what it meant, you wanted to stay unknown, behind the scenes, be secretive, dodge everything you possibly could, law, FBI, dodge everything else. And then what do you want to do after that? You want to go and be on national social media. That's the nature of the game. But Mr. Spataro, Leon, John Paul, and all my good people and supporters out there, it is so easy. And I know he's telling the truth. And Anthony Riamondi is telling the truth on some things. I know because it just was stuff in my head from years ago. And he's telling the truth about it. Vlad doesn't know. These other interviewers don't know. They're riding the bandwagon and going, yeah, I got a chance to use this guy and raise my channel name, raise my subs up, and I'm going to bash this Riamondi. But I'm never going to be monetized. I'm never going to, whatever. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. But if you want to throw things around and get down to the nitty gritty, let's rock and roll. So I just like to, I was talking to some people the other day and somebody saw some videos and I kind of half knew them in town and they were asking me certain questions and they're like, well, Mike said this. I was like, bro, what? So you're interpreting Mike's narrative and Mike's stories, you're interpreting them as total gospel truth? Well, it sounded believable. It sounded believable to me, Jojo. All right, how about this? Lend me $10,000 and I'll pay you back when I get straightened up. Okay? How about that? Do I sound believable? I don't know, my dear friends, but geez, gosh. And then then this guy's got a split screen podcast live stream, and they're all bashing Anthony Riamondi. And you got these little wimps that are still pissing the bed and shitting their pants, and they would never go face to face and tell any of these guys that stuff. Well, I think he lives in Florida now. Go to Florida, find Anthony Riamondi, and go up to his face and tell him, you're full of shit. Go ahead. But in this platform, they could sling shit and everything else, and they're wrong about a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, get out of fantasy. When you're not in fantasy land, social media, and you're on boots on the ground, go see how tough you are when you're face to face. See how tough you are then. You sit like weasels, and they wanna bash, and they won't think. They just want to be tough and not think. Do what you want. I don't think people that think like that are successful in other aspects of their life. I don't think they're even capable of being in positive relationships. Because you could read a person's demeanor and thinking apparatus and their posture. You could read that. And if they're like that on this, then they must be like that in a lot of different areas of their life. They're skewed. Maybe most of the time. I'm not gonna just put that across the board. Mr. Spataro says it's not only Riamondi that does it. Gravano doesn't always give his viewers true stories. Sammy the Bull Gravano, my dear friend, has writers and editors. And you think he could have total recall Watch his video. Like, he has total recall of everything. You know, he could tell you what he had for breakfast on the morning of January 4th, 1973. He could tell you the barometric pressure. He could tell you the winds were out of the northwest, 35 miles an hour. I mean, come on. It's entertainment. They devised a hustle, a marketing plan. Sammy the Bull Gravano, the highest recognizable name along with John Gotti in that era. Let's make some money. And they're making the money. Boil it down. That's all there is to it. This is the only way I could ever make money, is my book. They dead miss. That's the only way I could ever make money. I'm not going to get monetized on here. I'm never going to make money from my channel. I might indirectly make it by selling the book. But I like to speak. I like to do other stories, commentary, and everything else. And I want people to rise up their thinking. I want people to have good lives. And when it comes to gangster stories, use a little more discerning things. Yeah, the stories are all from the book Underboss. Sammy the Bull Gravano in the streets was, I don't know how to put it, from secondary accounts of people that told me certain things, but Sammy the Bull Gravano had a learning deficit coming up. And I don't want to, bash a person. He's a senior citizen, but I do bash him. Forgive me. But so he's like the grunt. He didn't kill all the people that they say he killed. What sells and what doesn't sell. These are hustlers that were always looking for an in on how to make a dollar. So YouTube blows up, social media, mob, people want mob stories. And they said, this is easy money. Come on, Sammy the Bull. Come on, Mike Franzese. This is easy money. We've been hustling since we were 10. This is easy money. And nobody's going to get hurt. Right? It's America. You have a right to make money. I could sit up here till I'm blue in the face and say he's telling the truth, he's lying, and I can be wrong. But when I see things eye to eye, firsthand witness, then I know somebody's lying. But on secondhand, third-hand information, I might be right, I might be wrong. But it was for thinking from a mafia money-making hustle, get the money mind. YouTube channel is easy money for those high-profile names. Better than shaking somebody down for $1,000 they owe from gambling. Better than other rackets where the FBI can arrest you. It's legal and free money. Finally, in their lifetime, they had a chance to make legal and free money. So of course they're gonna lie and everything else. Excuse me, let's do the countdown. 20, 19, 18, blah, 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 blah. It's early in the morning. It's early, my dear friends. Who leaves the channel? We heard it all before. You know what? I love all you guys. I like people that put up with me and they accept me. And I appreciate support and everything else. And if it's talking about the mob or anything else, there's other subjects we can talk about. But I'm trying to grow a channel. Yeah, I hoard myself out to these thumbnails. Yeah, no shit. I'd be stupid if I denied it. Of course. But if I can grow this show at a higher level and do different talk about sports issues or something that's hot in the current events, or politics is kind of crazy, but I do some political things. And I can grow the show by starting out with mob stories. I've seen a lot of it. I'm a firsthand witness. A lot more than these young, whoever they are, running around. But I'm admitting that you have to, even if I'm not if you don't view me for entertainment value, and you view me just to say, I want to hear the truth about the mafia, you don't know if I'm lying or not. I'm smart enough to realize that. And I would applaud you to pose that thinking. So if you thought that, can I get away with it by being entertaining? Or is you just going to leave and never go back, never come back? It is what it is. Nobody's psychic, but I do try to give the best I can. Yeah. And I can't cop out and say I have a brain injury, because there's some things that you just know. But I don't claim to have total recall from 40 years ago and 30 years ago like these guys do. Geez, do people really have? I know, well, people do have good recall, but they could have all the recall they want. I know for a fact they're lying. I know for a fact. The sky is blue, it's blue. The grass is green, it's green. That's a fact. If somebody says they were somewhere and then I seen them somewhere else, well, I saw them somewhere else. No, Billy, you weren't over there. Why are you telling all your fans that? Well, they just like to hear that shit. So that's what we're up against. That's what we're up against. And as long as I'm getting subscribers and support from these good people and everything, I guess the YouTube is telling me I gotta tell my viewers to hit the like button. I always say subscribe and all this other stuff, but I'm just learning. But they're saying you're missing out. For however you grow or get more viewers, you're supposed to tell the viewers in your videos, every video, geez, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Please like me. If you like my video, how could you not hit the like button? People don't give a crap about hitting the like button, YouTube. I know it might help my channel out, but I'm just happy they're in here with me. How much do I want to ask? Well, it's very simple. Hit the like button. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to use reverse psychology either, because I just thought about that. Well, if they're viewing me for 49 minutes or 54 minutes, maybe they're interested in what I got to say. I'll take that, okay? Because the subscribers are going up, so it keeps me going. When I bottom out on subscribers, I'm just going to be done with the channel. This is an experiment, okay? This is an experiment. And it's not as easy as I make it look, okay? All right. It's not that easy. So I appreciate all the support. Hit the like button. Share, subscribe, share, buy the book. What a whore I am. They Dead Missed, Amazon Books, Kindle, everything else. Yeah, do all that for me, can you, folks? Cut me some slack. All right. Cut me some slack. Had a bad week of gambling. Now, I do enjoy these shows. It's a good hobby of mine. I did an experiment because some people, they said I wouldn't get 5 subscribers in 3 months, but they wouldn't bet me. They wouldn't bet me. I said, you want to bet? I'll put up $1,000, and if I win, you only have to pay me $200. So I'll put up $1,000 to your $200, and after 4, they didn't take the bet. Maybe they knew I had some skills. Maybe. Because they've known me long enough. and they've heard me speak. They know my mind. They know my intellect. They know my communications. They know me. So they thought that maybe he might catch on a little bit on YouTube. Maybe he might catch on. Maybe JoJo could pull it off. So the numbers are rising, and I appreciate all that. It's, and they're still small numbers, but it was rapid growth, historically speaking, to other channels. And I do it in this setting. And you know what? Maybe this setting is my this thing. I'm so crazy to think I got to get a new setting and everything else. Well, no, maybe this is the setting that gave me that rapid growth. Maybe this is my environment. Maybe this is where I belong. So we'll figure it out as we go along. These guys with the headsets on, they got the headsets on and the microphone and all that. I don't need all that shit. I am what I am. I don't need to be hyped up. I think I'm confident and good enough to so far, so good. So far, so good. Forgive me for the connection problems. We're going to address that somehow. I don't know how. You pay the bill and you don't get the service. So that's that. So I'm going to do the devotion. Don't run, folks. Don't run. I don't even know what day it is. The Bills lost. The Bills lost. I lost my money. But we don't give up. We just keep having fun. I'd hate to die with money in my pocket. So whoever finds me in the street could just fleece my pocket. Well, I hate to die with any money in my pocket. Jeez. God forgive me. I shouldn't speak on stuff like that. Worship me in the beauty of holiness. All true beauty reflects some of who I am. I am working my ways in you. The divine art is creating loveliness within your being. My main work is to clear out debris and clutter. Let's take the garbage and debris and clutter out of our minds. There's a lot of stuff stuck in our minds. We have to process it and move along. And make room for my spirit to take over. Collaborate with me in this effort by willing to let go of anything I choose to take away. So let go of some of these things and invite creation knowledge, okay? I know what you need, and I have promised to provide all of that abundantly. True with me, give me life back. I'm speaking. Exhibit A for the jury. I'm here. For my life. So that's the biggest truth about that. There's other examples, but my life. Your sense of security must not rest in your possessions or in things going your way. Your sense of security must not rest in your possessions or in things going your way. Meditate on that. I am training you to depend on me alone, finding fulfillment in my presence. Don't depend on that 3-team parlay, JoJo, or don't depend on that 6-horse winning the 4th race. Don't depend on that too much, JoJo. Don't get it twisted. This entails being satisfied with much or with little, accepting either as my will for the moment. Instead of grasping and controlling, you are learning to release and receive. Let go of that. Yeah, I do want to make a score. Money comes in handy. But is there another avenue for abundance? Yes, there is. I'm living. It wasn't money, but it was my life, which give me my life over the money. Cultivate this receptive stance by trusting me in every situation. There it is, folks. I appreciate your support. Hit the like button. Go back to all my videos and hit the like button. That's what YouTube told me to say. Oh, wow. So I saw Anthony Riamondi's stuff on there and everything else. But I'm going to tell you one thing. He is no different than Gravano or Mike Francis. He's no different. Okay? Don't be fooled. It's easy to go, oh, look at this lying crap. No. I'm not the guy that's going to be fooled. You viewers and you good people and everything else, it's entertainment. And whether you want to make a choice on who's lying or not, that's fine. They're all good storytellers. Leave it at that. Okay. Be the kings and queens of your world. Thank you, Mr. Spataro, John, and Emmanuel. That would be Mr. Spataro. It's early. John Paul, Leon, thank you folks for helping me out here and everybody else who comes upon this video. I appreciate your support. And let's inspire thinking. Let's inspire goodwill. Let's inspire compassion. If you see somebody struggling, help them out if you can. And if you need some help, don't be shy. You know, we want to portray our stuff as being strong, macho men, or this and that. And it's a weakness to say, you know what? Hey, Tom, come here, man. I got some things bothering me. I need a look, help me out. That's good stuff in the world. That's good stuff. That invites good things into the realm. Okay. So thank you, John Paul. I appreciate your support. So I try to tell stories about this and that. Hope I can get this thing started. But we all got worlds we all have a life outside of YouTube world. We're in relationships, mother, father, sister, brother, husband, wife, child, parent. We're all in relationship, boss, employee. We're in relationship. So sometimes they get messed up. So we got to rise up, stay strong. So the world is a vampire. You know it. It wants to drain you. The demons work overtime. All right. So thank you, folks. Be the kings and queens of your world. Don't give up. We are born royalty. Okay. Entertainment is entertainment, but we have our own personal lives that we're living. We can rise up. I'm for the underdog. People having suicidal thoughts, terrible mental health problems, depression, drug addiction. I seen it all, full circle. I lived it. I experienced it. I'm back on borrowed time. So that's my mission. That's my mission. That's my channel mission. And I need to tell old stories to rise my channel up so I could share a good word with more people, like these good people that come in here. I appreciate it. So be the kings and queens of your world. Stay great. Stay strong. If you need help, get it. Everything's going to be fine. All right. God bless y'all. I'll talk to you soon. And have a good day. Thank you.